Hi crochet friends, welcome back. I'm Maggie and this is Maggie May Crochet. In this video I'm going to show you how to make the scarf that matches the Boardwalk beanie. I will put a link in the description box below and in a card above here for the pattern for this hat. What you'll need to make the scarf is Lion Brand Landscapes yarn. I use the color Boardwalk and a 6.5 or K crochet hook. This is an extremely easy pattern. It is just a one row repeat. I will, however, talk to you a little bit about how to determine the size of your scarf. I found this really awesome chart on a website. It's called Umbaka. I will go ahead and put a link to that website in the video description as well. But basically what the chart says is that to determine the proper length and width of your scarf, you can individualize it for the person you're making it for. For example, for the width of your scarf, how wide you want to make it, you can take your hand and measure from thumb to the tip of your pinky, and that will tell you the width for the scarf that you can make for a particular person. I'm going to go ahead and make excuses right now because I can see in my camera how awful my hands look. If you don't follow my channel regularly, you may not be aware that I have a pet squirrel. I shouldn't call him a pet. He is a rescue squirrel and he is free roaming or free ranging now. He's actually coming in and out of the house, but he loves to wrestle and play with me, and his little nails are pretty sharp. So if I don't quickly put on my gloves to play with him, this is what happens. So the width of your scarf will be the measurement from a person's thumb to the tip of their pinky. So I'm right about 8 inches. So the proper width for a scarf made for me would be 8 inches wide. Now the length of your scarf can be customized to the person's height. You can crochet it as long as the person is tall. So I'm 5'6", so technically the perfect length for a scarf for me would be 5 feet 6 inches long. Another way you can come up with a measurement is to take and measure from if you outstretch your arms from fingertip to fingertip. Obviously, you can make your scarf to any width or any length that you prefer. Those are just some basic measurements to kind of get you started. Okay, so let me show you just how simple this scarf is to make. It is simply one step. I'm going to make mine with the half double crochets because that's what I used to create the hat, and I want it to be given as a set. So you start by making a slip knot and placing it on your hook. Now you'll make a chain to the width of your scarf. So for me, my outstretched fingers from thumb to pinky are 8 inches, so I'm going to make my chain 8 inches wide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I just finished my chain and it measures right at 8 inches, and it turned out to be 30 chains long. Now I'm going to start placing my stitches into the chain. So what we want to do to give a nicer finished edge is place your stitches into the back bumps of your chain. So when you look at the chain so that the V's are facing you, turn it over and you'll notice these bumps along the back. I'm going to be placing my stitches into these bumps. So I want to place my first stitch into the second chain from my hook. This is 1, this is 2. I'll turn my work over, there's the bump, and I'm going to place my hook. First, wrap my yarn around my hook, place my hook into that back bump, yarn over, pull through, and I have 3 loops on my hook. I'll yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and that's a half double crochet. Again, I'm yarning over, placing my hook into the bump on the back of my chain, yarning over, pulling through. I'll have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through those 3 loops. Oops, almost did a single crochet there, sorry. The difference between a single and a half double crochet is just that with a single you put your hook straight under the bump. With a half double crochet you're yarning over first. So if you can do a single crochet, half double crochet is just one extra step, yarning over before you put this hook into your bump. Okay, you'll have 3 loops on your hook that way. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, put your hook into that bump, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through. That's really all there is to this. All right, so I cannot tell you exactly how much yarn I used to make this particular scarf. It is 8 inches wide and about 5 feet long, but I did not write down how much of the yarn I used to make this scarf. So what you can do if you're ever in a position like this and need to figure out how much yarn you need is you can weigh your project. Let me turn this on. My scale's about out of power here, so all right. And it says I am at 243 grams. I'll look at my skein and see that it's 100 grams per skein. So I needed about 2.5 skeins of yarn to make this particular scarf, okay? Just a little tip for you if you ever find yourself in this spot and wondering if you have enough yarn to complete a project. Another thing to keep in mind though is that of course you're going to be needing to use very similar weight and yarn. I would even suggest the same exact brand if you really want to be accurate. But anyway, that's just something that I use for myself and I thought I would share with you. Another tip I want to share with you about using this yarn in particular, as much as I absolutely love it, it is a little challenging if you're newer to crochet because it tends to be a little fuzzy. You can see here where the yarn was joined, I trimmed it up a little bit, but it can split and it's got kind of a furry texture going on to it. Here's, you can kind of see the little fibers on the edges here. If you are newer to crochet and working with yarn, it might be a bit of a challenge for you. So one thing that I have found with using this type yarn is I'll use a plastic hook. I think that the plastic hooks are smoother and they're less likely to get caught up in the little strands or fibers of the yarn here if they start to split. One of my favorite hooks is a Susan Bates hook, but for this yarn I don't prefer using this brand of hook because it has a sharper end here and the metal sharper edges can catch your yarn here and split a little easier than using a plastic one. Or if you don't have plastic, even a metal one that has a smoother tip. You see how this just kind of grabs there rather than getting caught inside here. So just a little tip to help you out if you are really wanting to use this yarn as a newer crocheter. This pattern can definitely be used on a acrylic yarn that is more like your traditional type yarn. That's a little easier to work with just until you get the swing of it. But I can understand if you want to just jump right in and try this because this yarn is just gorgeous. Okay, let's get back to the project here. So I'm going to continue on. Sorry for the little break there, but I thought I'd just share some helpful advice. And I will, there I go again with my single crochets. I'm hell-bent on single crochets this morning. All right, yarning over and going into my bump. And I'll get back with you once I get to the end and show you how to start your next row. Alrighty, so I'm coming up onto my last bump in my chain. And I have my first row complete. So what we're going to do at the end of your row is chain one and turn your work. When you turn your work, you want to try to turn it in the same direction each time. So a really good way to remember that, which way you turned your work, is to think of your piece as a page in a book. And if you would turn the page, just turn your work that way each time as though you're turning a page in a book, and that will help you ensure that you're turning your work in the same direction each time. All right, so here you are going to want to place some stitch markers. I'll put these here and show you. It helps you identify your first and last stitch of each row. That's going to help ensure that your work has nice even edges. Okay, so we're going to place our first half double crochet in row 2 into the very first stitch here. This loop that's coming up is our turning chain. So we're going to be placing our first stitch into this first V after your turning chain. So we'll yarn over, place our hook under both parts of this V, the top of the stitch, yarn over, pull through. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. Now I want to right away place a stitch marker through the V's of this first stitch here, because as you go along it can kind of blend into this little area here. And again, if you're newer to crochet, sometimes it's hard to find that stitch, and you can lose count and your sides will not be nice and straight. What I'll do now too, just to show you the other end, this is our first stitch. It's coming up like this, but it is kind of hidden down on the side, and you don't want to end your work here. You do want to remember to grab this stitch. So I'm going to place a stitch marker on this stitch to remind myself when I get to the end that I will work all the way to that stitch marker. Alrighty, so here we go. You can also count your stitches. So I made 30 stitches in my chain, and I placed my first stitch into the second chain from the end. So that means technically my work is 29 stitches wide. So I could, at the end of my round, count that I have 29 half double crochets, and that would ensure that my work is going to stay even. Another thing that I wanted to remember to mention is working with this yarn. You see how it's all fuzzy right here? Again, the fuzziness. If you want to rip out your row and begin again, we call that frogging. I've heard different reasons that people think it's called frogging. My interpretation is that you're ripping it out. You know, frogs rip it, rip it, rip it. Anyway, these fibers can get tangled up in between your stitches here, and pulling it out is really difficult because they'll make tiny little knots. So again, just another little warning if you are not real familiar yet with your crochet hobby, that this could be a bit challenging with this yarn, but don't give up. You will figure things out and it's well worth it. You can see that my hook is really sliding right through these stitches pretty well. Again, that's the plastic hook. If I were using, of course I say that, there we go, this metal hook, it could potentially get caught up just like that last stitch did here, but I was able to fix it relatively easily with the smoother hook, where this is going to really start splitting those fibers, pulling through. So just another little tip to save you some frustration that obviously I've had to deal with. So sharing along, you can see my yarn here is getting, some of it's wound tighter than other pieces, so this is where it could get kind of tricky and fiddly, but it all evens out in the end. So I can work through here. Sometimes it doesn't, it'll pick up some of those weird fibers and you might have to redo it. See, I've got a little bit of that last one there. Let me pull this out. Okay. Okay, coming up to the last stitch. All right, so let me just show you how to count your stitches to ensure that this is actually the one I want to place my last stitch in, or am I done here? So to count them, you'll start with your V, your very first V here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. So I am in fact done here. This was my turning chain. So it's always a good idea to double check because it's very easy to miscount. All right, so I have 29 across. Now I'll chain 1, turn my work, and I'll place my first half double crochet into my first stitch here, my first V. And now I'll place my stitch marker on the end, and I'm glad I went back and counted. And now I have in fact got my 29 stitches, and I'll know when to stop when I reach my stitch marker there. So that's it, guys. That's how simple this pattern is, okay? It is just half double crochets back and forth to the length that you want. If you have any questions that I can help with, please feel free to leave them in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. In case you're not aware, it doesn't cost a thing to subscribe, and it really does help the channel out a lot. Okay, so thanks again for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.